How's it going, trainers? Welcome to another Pokemon Go Jungle Cup video. Today we're going to talk about the first group in this meta Simplified graphic that I created, the counter users. The counter users that fit in with this current meta so far are Vigoroth, Heracross, and Breloom. You have Vigoroth with counter, Body Slam, and Bulldoze as the preferred moveset, Heracross with counter, Mega Horn, and Close Combat, and Breloom with counter, Dynamic Punch, and Sludge Bomb. Now, the first thing to note about all three of these is that Vigoroth is the undisputed king of the jungle when it comes to the whole meta. He beats the Flyers, he beats Fortress, most of the electric types including Magnezone, Alolan Graveler, and Golem, and Raichu. He falls pretty hard to stuff like Beedrill, Venusaur, and Heracross himself, and even Razor Leaf Victreebel. One thing to note with Vigoroth, as you can see, is that it takes 5 fast moves to get to Brick Break, as opposed to 8 for Bulldoze. And you would think that the 5 for the charge move would be preferred over Bulldoze, but Bulldoze gives you much better coverage. It gives you coverage against Magnezone, Alolan Graveler, and Golem, and Raichu, basically all the electric types. It even gives you good coverage against one of your top counters, Venusaur, because Venusaur's poison subtyping. Ground is super effective, so you could sneak that in there. Brick Break would only be good against the mirror match, I would say, and probably rogue stuff, I guess Magnezone, and yeah, just Bulldoze is a lot more efficient, and anyways, you're going to be using Body Slam 99.9% of the time, I promise you. Moving on to Heracross, the one guaranteed charge move you're going to want is Mega Horn. Mega Horn all the way. It's crazy good stab damage. It takes 8 to get to, which isn't that much considering, and it's just really, really good. The next preferred is Close Combat over Earthquake. The reason why you're going to prefer Close Combat over Earthquake is mostly just for the fighting damage. It's stab. You're going to use it again against stuff like Magnezone, Alolan Graveler, Golem, and then of course Vigoroth, who is of course one of his best matchups. Going into Heracross's key matchups, his best matchups notably are Vigoroth, Fortress, Magnezone, and the Alolan Graveler and Golem duo. He's countered pretty well by Masquerain, Scyther, Yanma, Confusion Venomoth, and Noctowl. You can note that difference of Noctowl. Vigoroth has a good matchup against Noctowl, so as you can see, if you're going to choose one of the two, Vigoroth in that scenario is definitely more preferred because of Noctowl's usability in this meta. Next off, we got Breloom. He's going to be running counter, Dynamic Punch, and Sludge Bomb. His key matchups again are going to be Vigoroth, Alolan Graveler, and Golem, Fortress, and Magnezone, so pretty much identical to Heracross's. Although his counters are slightly different in Scyther, Masquerain, Yanma, and more so Dustox. He still loses to the Flyers as well. He has a better chance because of that Sludge Bomb, just general good damage. Whereas everything that Heracross could throw at a Flyer is resisted. So having said all this, we're going to go ahead and move into a few clips I have highlighting each of these three Pokemon and a little bit of their scenarios. So let's move on to it. So in this first clip, we're going to lead with our Vigoroth, and we're going to see how that goes. So we're going to start with Vigoroth. He's going to start with Lantern. This is immediately a good matchup. We could go straight for the Bulldoze, but we're probably just going to stick with the Body Slam Span because it does just about half health, as you are about to see if he doesn't shield. So we get that Body Slam off. He takes it, does almost half. We're going to go ahead and go with a counter, try to get those 5 hits in, do another Body Slam. He's going to shoot us with a Thunderbolt, so we block it. It's always a safe bet to block for your Vigoroth because it could do so much damage. He's then going to switch into a Sceptile, so we're going to switch out. Next, we're going to show Vigoroth back out against that Lantern and getting that Body Slam off and taking care of it more than likely. Let's see. And there it goes. So Vigoroth against Lantern is a really great matchup, and now we're against a Noctowl. One thing to note against Vigoroth and Noctowl is that Noctowl can beat Vigoroth if Noctowl has the shield advantage. Next up, we're going to lead with our Heracross and try to get it into a good situation against the same trainer. You can see that we're into a Noctowl, and the thing to note about this is Noctowl's at half health, and even still, yes, you could if you add shields, you could block with it, but even still, he's going to get to a Sky Attack. It's just not a winning scenario for Heracross. I know it was short for Heracross. We'll get back to him, but now we're going to jump to a Breloom clip. We're going to lead with Breloom, and we're going to run right into a Sceptile. Thing to know about this is I have Seed Bomb instead of Sludge Bomb. This would be a great matchup if I had Sludge Bomb, so I'm going to switch out since I don't have that super effective move. I'm going to come back later on, and we're back in that matchup, finishing it off, using a shield, so we don't take any more damage. And then we're going to get a matchup against a Alolan Golem. I'm going to avoid that Seed Bomb and use Dynamic Punch because that's a move that we normally have, and it's very super effective, as you're about to see. Bye-bye, Alolan Golem. So, Breloom getting it done, finishing up the Sceptile, and winning us that match. Next up, we're going to go ahead and cover Heracross one more time and give him a little bit more of a spotlight, since he had such a little showing that first time. We're going to lead with him, and we're going to run into a Fortress, which is a fantastic matchup. We're going to do really, really good against it, but she's smart and pulls the switch pretty much right away. But she switches into an Alolan Golem, which is excellent for us, and we'd much rather use that against it. So we go ahead and finish it off with just counters. Ryza gets a move off, we shield it, just because now we're going to have that against Fortress as well, and we're going to get that close combat off more than likely unless she shields. So we kill the Alolan Golem, and she sends out, let's see, a Fortress. So we're going to close combat right away and hope that goes through because that'll pretty much one-shot her. Let's see. She shields it. So we're going to go, try to get a close combat again, and we get it just barely. And let's hope she doesn't shield again. And boom. Bye-bye Fortress. Alright guys, so in summary, when it comes to the counter users, Vigoroth is certainly the king. He's good for versatility, and he's just so spammy. He's fantastic. Heracross, if you can get to the Mega Horn and get it off in the right situations, is going to do great. Breloom, he's like the poor man's Heracross. If you can't afford Heracross and you don't want to pay up for a Vigoroth powered up, then Breloom's certainly a good option. You can get it pretty much at the CP in an unweather boosted raid right away, and you could give it the 50k for the extra move, or you could just run counter Dynamic Punch. It would do pretty well, to be honest. So it's definitely a good budget option. As far as team-wise, when you're building your team of 6, I can only really recommend one of these, definitely being Vigoroth. Depending on your composition in the end, though, as that 6 wildcard spot, I guess, you would include Heracross as well if you have it. But I just really wouldn't. I think Vigoroth really gets the job done on its own, and does all the fighting damage you need when it comes to counters. So, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.